Hey there everybody, welcome to another episode of Gideon's Tactical. Today we are checking out the Ontario Rat 5. I'm going to give you the basic specs and we'll jump on into a bunch of field testing and I'll give you my overall thoughts in this review. We got an overall length of 10.5 inches with from tip to the handle itself is 5 inches. And the actual cutting edge is 4 3/8. So basically just under 4.5 inch cutting edge right there, made out of 1095 high carbon steel, Rockwell hardness 57. You got a thickness of the back of the spine here of 3/16 of an inch thick, and then tapers down to a really nice precise tip there. Lots of belly, love that. Man, just got to dig that a lot. Made in the USA, micarta handle scales. Really nice, fills out your hand really well. Nice set of jimping along the spine there. Good finger choil, fits really well in your hand when you're doing your detail work. And then a pommel on the back / glass breaker / non-lethal with a lanyard hole. And then we got also a nylon sheath that we'll talk about a little bit later. So those are the basic specs for you, and it weighs in at 11.5 ounces. So let's jump into this field testing of the Ontario Rat 5. So the Rat 5 did a superb job of stabbing. That tip is nice, strong. You know, I was getting probably a good inch and a half stabbing into the tree here, prying side to side. I mean, it is a thinner tip. You know, it's not quite as reinforced as maybe some hollow or saber grind knives would be, so you don't want to be totally cranking on it side to side. You probably wouldn't be able to pry open a door with it. You'd probably snap it in that case, but that tip is delicate enough that you're going to be able to stab in and really get a deep stab, and makes it a great tactical knife. And again, going back to kind of what I've been realizing over the last couple years, you know, just using knives, is that thumb ramps really don't help me at all. As long as you have a really nice good groove down here, you are locked in. You're not going to accidentally ride up. I mean, I felt totally in control, totally locked in. I wasn't worried about sliding down and hurting myself, and it's very comfortable. And you can definitely use this Ontario Rat 5 as a nice, good tactical knife, you know, military type of knife, and it's going to do a fantastic job for you. I would highly recommend it for that type of stuff. You can see as I use this Rat 5 that it can definitely, if you can span it, man, I mean, it'll go through the wood that you're trying to baton through. You can see that there. I mean, I'm definitely going through that wood, making the kindling that I need. The Rat 5 is a great little batoner. You know, it is only 4 3/4 of an inch actual blade, you know, cutting edge, so that's not a lot of wood that you can span. But I mean, you know, this is a big honking piece of wood about as thick as my whole arm, and I can definitely make kindling out of it with this Rat 5 very easily. Great slicer, this Rat 5. Awesome. And carve in, whittle in, making your spears, making your tinder. I mean, this thing is a monster when it comes to slicing. So I want to talk about quality and a side-by-side also of the Rat 5 and the Rat 7. These are right on top of each other, just so you can see you're getting 2 more inches with the Rat 7 than you are with the Rat 5, and the handles are exactly the same. Some people want to know about that. They're the exact same thickness. They're a mirror image. So if you own a Rat 7, you're thinking about a Rat 5, it's the exact same handle. If you own a Rat 5, you're thinking about a Rat 7, they're exact same handle either way when you purchase the knife. So just want to show you that little side-by-side. And then I want to talk again, like I said, about quality. Now, this a Rat 7 was purchased about 4 years ago, whereas the Rat 5 that you see below was purchased in July of 2013, and I can tell a huge difference in quality control coming out of Ontario Knife Company versus years ago. We also just did a review on the Ontario Falcon. That was perfectly ground in. The sheath was an upgrade, and it was perfectly fitted, the micarta handle scales on the knife, and was just a really well-detailed blade. And I see the exact same thing on this Rat 5, which leads me to believe that Ontario is just paying more attention to detail, wanting to produce and put out just higher quality things, because in the past they've been really criticized for just not really putting a lot of effort into their grind angles. A lot of times their grind angles are really off, you know, one side is really lopsided, and the micarta handle scales often are really kind of offset and not really lined up perfectly. So I'll just kind of show you that with the Rat 7 versus the Rat 5. Old, new. So right here with this Rat 7, you can see here on the finish, it's a flat finish, and you know, it's holding up okay, but you know, it's just not really all that flashy and not really all that resilient to a lot of hard use. In comparison to this newer one that we can see here, you can just see that this is not textured, you know, it's nice and smooth as well, but it's just holding up a little bit better. I can see that it's not wearing as badly as on the older Rat 7, which is nice that the finish is just a little bit of an upgrade on this newer Rat 5 versus this older Rat 7. Another thing to note would be, just like I said, the micarta handle scales. You can see here it's very slight, but I can run my nail along the spine of the knife right here. This micarta handle scale on this side is lower just by probably, you know, half a millimeter, which isn't too big a deal, but you can feel it. And if you are, you know, a knife lover, cutlery lover like myself, you're going to notice it. And as well as on the micarta handle scales, they're just not really all that smooth. You know, they don't look like they're very high quality. I mean, they're very durable, tough, but you know, they're just kind of like slapped on there. Hey, there you go. Whereas with the newer Rat 5, you can see that this is perfectly aligned all along the whole spine, going down all the way through here. No, you know, bumps, ridges, raised too high, too low, perfectly. And it's a little bit just better, higher quality micarta. I can just tell that just by touching it. And we actually took it on the hike today as well, that you're seeing all this field testing with my brother's SE5. And I would say that it's the exact same, you know, fit and feel in the handle as the SE5. I know a lot of people are going to flip out, and I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of comments below of that, but I saw no difference between the handle scales and lineup of the SE5 versus this Rat 5. So there's an attention to detail that is coming out of Ontario that we haven't seen in the past. Finally here, two things with the grind angle. This came out perfectly, perfect grind angle. One wasn't lopsided or whatever with the newer Rat 5 versus this old Rat 7. It was horribly ground in on this side. On the right side from my thumb on up, it was so lopsided. I had to take about an hour and a half on a whetstone to try and reprofile the edge. I got it back to almost perfect now, but that was a real pain in the butt that you know, close to $100 knife, the grind angle originally was pretty crappy, and I had to spend some time to get it to where it needed to be. So the fact that now it's coming, and this is the second Ontario for 2013 that I've purchased, again going back to the Falcon, where the grind angle was perfect out of the box, perfectly symmetrical, and just really well balanced in comparison to the older 4-year-old Rat 7. And then finally the sheaths here. Here's the old Rat 7 sheath. I can tell this is a lower quality nylon. There's no retention straps here to try and adjust the tension, and just isn't very good quality right there. Whereas the new Rat 5, I can tell the nylon is a little bit better. It has 2 retention straps. It's adjustable, so you can really get it locked in there really nice. Paracord, whereas the Rat 7 has shoelace. So there's just details there that you can tell that Ontario's really putting some effort into their Rat and Ranger knives that we haven't seen in the past, which is a really big thumbs up and a plus. Let's get back into that field testing. All right, so this Rat 5 weighs in at 11.5 ounces, whereas the Rat 7 weighs in at 12.5 ounces. So you're looking at an ounce less of weight than the Rat 7, and obviously about 2 inches shorter on the blade length. But you know, still 11.5 ounces is a lot of weight for such a little knife that you're going to be able to clear a lot of stuff with a 5-inch knife that you couldn't with maybe some other ones, say like a SOG Northwest Ranger, SOG Seal Pup. You know, some of those other knives that weigh in maybe more around like the 5 or 6 ounces, this will clear brush a lot quicker with less energy than, say, other knives in that category of 5 inches. So the weight does help when it comes to chopping. Oh yeah, now we're talking. This thing goes right through this 1-ton rated paracord. It's gonna slice right through that. It's 1/4 inch thick, rated for 2,000 pounds. Not even putting any effort on it. This is the factory edge. They did a great job grinding it in perfectly. You know, it wasn't like wobbly off to one side. That'll go through any sort of nylon webbing. You know, it does come serrated as well. I don't think you need it, particularly if you're in the military, as long as you keep a good edge on it. And 1095 is easy to put an edge back on. And this will go right through your parachute webbing, you know, your MOLLE on your gear, nylon Humvee belt loops, seat belts, whatever. You're going to be able to cut right through that with the Ontario Rat 5. So this Rat 5 by Ontario Knife Company is so much fun to use when it comes to wood processing. You know, regardless if you're choking up on that finger choil or you're backing up here. It doesn't wear out my hands. I wear large size gloves, and doesn't wear my hand out. I've heard some people saying, oh, the handle's too thick and too big. So regardless if I'm using the finger choil or not, it doesn't really wear out my hand, feels fine. Maybe if you have medium or small hands, it might start to wear you out a little bit over time, but in the use that I've done, haven't seen any of that. You can definitely do a reverse grip, kind of more of a chest pull. Feels very comfortable as I do that, no hot spots, you know, nothing like that. Very comfortable. It just slices, man. I love that full flat grind, and just a fun knife to use, the Rat 5 for wilderness use. I would highly recommend this blade, particularly if you're looking for a good tactical fighting knife. You know, you're a soldier going into the sandbox or overseas somewhere, and you want something that you could survive with, you know, a survival knife and a tactical knife. You know, it's got that glass breaker on the back, or non-lethal pommel. It's got that really good, you know, pretty delicate tip, but that could definitely, you know, get inside somebody, you know, get underneath their vest or whatever, and be able to stab, and you've got really good traction, really good lockup. And then again, if you're batoning, chopping, whittling, carving, whatever, the Rat 5 is going to be so much fun to use and just do a great job for under $100. Rat 5 is a home run. Thanks for watching, everybody. Stay equipped, stay prepared. We'll see you out there.